Oh.
I do not tolerate the fishmen.
See, when is WoW gonna add the Murlocs as a playable race? Just saying. I swear we have fish people. Let's say it may or may not. I need to double check.
You have Triton?
Triton are mermen and merwomen. Triton are definitely not fish people.
Well, Triton are fish elves.
We have rabbit people now.
Why do you don't have? Wait, are we have the fucking? Do we have the Loporits again?
It's Harengon?
Oh, we've had those.
It's in a different book. That's why it's thrown off. I forgot they reworked all these and made them crap. Tortle used to be its own book.
I like totals.
Portals are banned.
Why are Tortles banned?
Because if you can abuse them to have a really stupid armor class.
I mean, you can with the frickin' mechs too, so what?
Portal monks are funny because of Master Oogway from Kung Fu Panda.
Let's see. Ability score increase. Yeah, that's everyone now. Walking speed still 30. You can choose to be medium or small. You have claws to increase unarmed damage. You can hold your breath for an hour. Your shell provides a base AC of 17. Dex modifier does not affect this number. You can't wear armor, but you can still use a shield and apply shield's bonus. Natural intuition.
It's like without any investment whatsoever, your armor class is 19.
Like I said,
Oh, yeah, Dex is never like by the min-maxers rule. Dex and Wisdom are never dump stats,
which is dumb. I hate that. Well, Dex, Wisdom, and fucking whatchamacallit. And I want to say Endurance, but I'm playing Fallout. Con.
Like basically the two dump stats are the three dump stats that are allowable are Strength, Intelligence, and Charisma. But it's usually Strength or Intelligence.
And that's why I do half rolls, where I say add.
Oh, there's always issues, CAD.
Hello, chat. How's it going, everyone? AFK, thank you for the resub. Robo and Woodstock, thank you guys for the resubs as well. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. I hope you guys had a great anniversary. We're going to talk about the anniversary on the JP side of things, but first I think I'm going to at least get AP ticking on this server. We're going to come in and do a couple more runs here of NA, and then we'll switch over to JP for a little bit. Like gotcha today. I will very likely do GSSRs. I need to properly look at Azrael. I have not had the time to actually do it, and so that you guys understand what was going on. This weekend we went down to kind of girlfriend's family's place in South Florida, and essentially we were having to do stuff to like help prep the mom for some of the stuff that she's going to be kind of doing because she's looking at moving. And so we basically had to help like stage and set up all that and take pictures and kind of get the house ready for listing. So that was a lot. And as a result, we didn't get a whole lot of like good sleep either because we had to leave early in the morning. Staying at the mom's place is not the best in terms of the bed there and everything. And then we actually ended up having to like stay later than we thought we would Sunday. So we got back real late, slept like shit Sunday night, and that's why like Monday I was like, no, I know we have anniversary, but it'll still be around. I just need a day. So that's what I did. On the flip side too, I've been working on modding the Conan server. The Conan server, this is the first time I've done mods in a long time on a Conan server. I've been doing vanilla playthroughs, but I'm actually really excited because a lot of the mods have been updated for the enhanced edition. And there's the big new update that includes the Cyclopean halls and everything for Conan. So it looks like they're going to be putting Cthulhu and HP Lovecraft content into Conan, which is actually pretty interesting because HP Lovecraft and I forget his name, but I think it's Howard something. That was the author of Conan. Were actually apparently friends, and so they actually did kind of co-opt each other's characters into their universe. But it'll be very interesting to see how they do that. I'm not sure what the future of Conan looks like, but it is exciting for me. And then at work as well, as if that wasn't enough, I am now, because the other senior accountant in our firm retired, I'm now being tasked with taking over project management and assignment for people. So that's a huge load of responsibility being heaped on my shoulders on top of the responsibilities I already have. We're going to have a big meeting about it tomorrow. So it's definitely something that's a little bit arduous and a little bit like concerning for me, but I'm also excited at the same time because it's going to help our firm work a lot better, I think, because frankly speaking, I did not dislike our other senior that was there, but I don't believe she was doing a good job of the project assignment side of things. First any server in a long time that I'm skipping. Yeah, I'll have to look at him. Like I said, I haven't actually like sat down and looked at his kit. Obviously, I know who Azrael is and all that shit, but it's one of those deals I have to actually look at the kit and see like, is this something that I want for myself? It's okay, we can dislike her for you, Kat. It's fine. I'm not trying to like badmouth her too much. I understand. There's a point where when people are older, they don't want to deal with technology as much, and I think it's something I've seen time and time again in the office that essentially like you try to implement something new and they just don't want to deal with it, right? And it was pretty average, but Summer looks like a W. I'm actually pretty concerned about Summer, based off of what they've shown. I think if you like someone like Lilith or like one of the other characters that they've already previewed, sure, I get that. But I think I speak for every. I'm not gonna say like non-Sakura face fan, but I think I speak for every like person that's not an immediate Sakura simp. At expressing concern that we might have yet another double on our hands because it's looking like we're going to get double passion lip, and that's concerning. I don't like that. I'll be honest with you. I think it's like I've sat there for years and watched as multiple saber faces have gotten it, but I think for the most part, when it's multiple saber faces, it's different saber face characters at least. So it'd be one thing if it was Passion Lip and another Sakura face. It's another thing for me when it's Passion Lip and Passion Lip. And that's where I start going like, no, I actually don't like that. I think that's a bad decision. Straight up. Like, I don't know how to say that other than truly I believe that is a poor choice on their part. I get that they're making it probably for story and narrative things, but I am super concerned about that. And I actually feel like, at least from what I've seen so far, the current offering of Summer Servants is not quite desirable to me. King Protea, sorry, yeah, I said Passion Lip. You were correct, it is King Protea. Forgive me, chat. That was me misspeaking. But yes, it looks like we're getting double King Protea. And that I am super concerned about, especially since we've already had like a second summer BB. I think like I speak for a lot of people when I say that they were upset about getting a second summer BB. I'm kind of like I understood why they did it. I kind of agreed with people, but I was a little bit on the fence because I was like, I understand it's for story purposes. And as a one-off, I can't really mind too much. But if they're gonna do it again, I am wondering if they even listen to the community and whether or not they hear the concerns at that point. Or it's just Nasu doing what he wants to do, which is probably the truth. Violet never? Right, like, that was one of the things I was sitting there saying, like, I'm actually surprised that they didn't use this as a mechanism to bring Violet in. I just hope the 4 stars are interesting. Yeah, like, so I'm at least somewhat concerned about that. And truth be told, chat, I have seen most of the anniversary and summer news. I have done most of the summer missions already. Or sorry, not summer missions, anniversary missions. Gives hope for another summer Ishtar Erish, though. That is funny, though, right? Like, it definitely opens the door to certain things. We have had some buffs as well. I've already done some of the buffs just to keep AP down and things. Currently, as chat can see, we got the 11th Annie. We got a decent chunk of quartz, I felt like. There's all of these anniversary missions and stuff. The only one I haven't done up here are the damage tests. Some of these were actually somewhat difficult, especially considering I went in blind. I believe one of these two was... And I think it was this one. One of them where, like, it's just Morgan Le Fay summoning over and over and over again. And I was like, what the heck? Wait, have I not picked that? Okay, I did. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I discovered everything because I have all the missions and everything done. The Morgan fight was annoying, yeah. Yeah, and I went into that blind. I didn't know what the gimmick was, and I just had to, like, tough it out. So it just was what it was. Hilariously enough, there was one where I got entirely stack wiped and my Castoria finished it, and it took me, like, 23 or 24 turns, but the Castoria soloed it for, like, the last 10 turns of it. But yeah, it's like, ultimately, if it's giving you trouble, like, just pop some command seals or something. It's not the end of the world. But I did find it interesting that they had done that. There is also the new feature down here. As you guys can see, we have a new addition. I have not touched this yet. I only know a little bit about it, and that's that they have provided a material exchange feature. This is intriguing, because as you guys can see, I can do this up to 5 times, and it does appear to be 1-to-1, but it makes me really wonder, like, what and why they're doing these things. Other than, I think this is nice, at least in the sense that, so if you're someone like me and you've got, like, a material that's dead to you, you can come in and you can say, hey, I want to convert this. Or maybe you're like, hey, you know, let's say this is like caster skill gems instead. And you're like, oh man, well, it's funny that you're converting caster over here. But it's like, instead this was Saber. You're like, man, I really need some caster skill gems. I can convert Saber skill gems over to that and get that. And so it is nice in the sense that it's going to allow you to move your materials around. But honestly, most of this stuff is not going to be a big deal to me, and there's a limited number of times you can do it, as you guys can see. So, obviously, things like the egg exchange, that's a nice one. Like, when it's a rare material that you guys don't have as much of, I think that's going to be good. it's going to be a little bit difficult to make guide content on this simply because, and I was talking to Avalon about it, it looks like it is, according to the developers, random over time. So that's going to make it difficult because it doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to like stick to a formula or have it like on a set rotation. So I don't know what to do or say about that. Like I'm not gonna sit here and hold you guys' hand and say like every single day, this is the guide. You guys need to convert this for this, right? Like instead, I'm just gonna tell you this is a thing. It's here. Choose wisely. But ultimately, the choice is yours, and it does reset. So I can't truly create a like comprehensive guide for something like this. Not when it's totally random. 5 a day ain't terrible, I guess. At least it isn't any month. Yeah, and I want to talk about this. The fact that it is random is a very obvious thing. Don't forget your daily single. I will. The fact that it's random is for a very obvious thing, and I want to walk you guys through this real quick here. Why would the developers make this random every day? Let's see if chat knows. See if chat can figure out the logic here. I want to go on a walk with you. I bet you do, Fox. How's it going, bud? They want you to check every day. Exactly. It's engagement. It's another metric. So when we start considering things like storm pods were a mechanism to force you to play the game every day. In the past, FGO didn't do this. FGO did not force you to play the game every day. There was incentive to do so, but the incentive was literally your login bonus and things like that. Okay? Why then did they start trying to put mechanisms into the game to force you? The reason for this is because of things like increased competition. And let's be honest, I think it's also a repercussion of their stalling and padding and drawing the story out. That the more that they have spread out the thing that actually makes you guys interested to play the game, the more they have needed to increase FOMO to force you to play the game. Because they know that there's longer dead periods in between and they can't actually keep you going. Because the only way to do that is to keep developing content, and every sign points to the developers not wanting to spend as much time developing new content. So instead, they're putting what we like to call a treadmill in. Something that is something for you to do, something for you to strive towards in order to do this. This is interesting, though, because with the storm pods, they tried to force you. This is more in the realm of like a login bonus. It's incentive. So instead of pulling you by the hand, they're offering you an open hand full of good stuff and saying, hey, we dare you not to play because if you do, you'll miss out. So the idea there is that this is a better system than storm pods. And I'm going to be honest, I agree. I like this far more. I think storm pods were terrible for the game. I think all they did was make people feel like they were just missing out in a lot of cases, because I know there were a ton of people just from talking to you guys, a ton of people that just shut down and didn't want to do the storm pods. They said it was too annoying. They didn't want to have to try and do it over and over and over again. And to be fair, as somebody that plays the game every single day and never missed a single storm pod on either server, because now both servers have the ability to just toggle on the usage of storm pods for any node, so you're never going to miss as long as you play once every 3 days. So as someone that never missed, even when we didn't have that, I can straight up tell you that storm pods were tedious and annoying. I didn't like them. I didn't like having to balance them with other priorities, things like events and stuff. That was truly the stupidest thing that they had done, especially considering they had extended events to 3 weeks. Their goal, at least according to them, as they had stated, was to give people more time to complete events. But this didn't work when you had to balance it with storm pods, especially if you were somebody that didn't roll for the event craft essences. And so therefore you were working with a minimal like bonus for drops and things like that in the event. Naturally, this just made it so that people had to like unnecessarily min-max, and it sucked. It was not fun. I had to do this a long time on JP when they finally added that. Thankfully, they added the QOL on NA a little bit earlier that allowed us to toggle the storm pods on for any node. But yes, it was truly just a bad system. They wanted you to use up your apples and stuff so you have less Velados. And that's true. I actually do agree with that, Epi. I think that was one of their goals, was to try and stop people from hoarding so many apples, especially because blue apples were a problem of their own. The hilarity of this is that it just didn't work. Because people either didn't do the storm pods, therefore ignoring the actual, like, apple cost of things, or people were like me and they min-maxed the shit out of it, even though it was tedious and annoying, and they didn't use apples in the end, but they still used all of their storm pods, but they still did the event, and they were instead just pissed off at the developers for it. So it was a lose-lose on behalf of the developers, and I think the developers eventually caught on to that, and that's why they changed the storm pods. But they need something else. They need a way to keep you playing, and that's what this is. And I don't blame them for it. I think it's an actually interesting system. You're not going to feel like, oh my god, I missed that 1 day's exchange, I'm doomed. But it is an opportunity lost. So, like, for instance, in our case here, let's say I want the exchange for these eggs. Well, if I just don't log in on this day and I don't get that exchange, that's fine. I'm not going to like be screwed permanently because of that. But there is the question of how long until eggs come back on the rotation. I don't know. FGO has a lot of materials, and they could definitely try to like be a little annoying asshats and like hammer the same materials over and over again that are less valuable. I don't see them doing that, but I do think you can probably expect something in the realm of like, you don't see a material for at least like another week. And that wouldn't be surprising to me at that point. So I think it's interesting to see them doing this. The other side of it is, too, there is, as you guys can see, 27 days left for me to do something. That something is 27 days left for me to do the fight. The fight is essentially going to give me a material from it. And that material are these blue flames. These blue flames can be exchanged in here for other things, including, I don't really know what to call this. I'm going to call it the Super Bond Grail or something. It's basically how you get to Bond 16. This is intriguing, and frankly, I'm just going to be honest with you guys right here, right now. I don't like this. And there's a couple of reasons I don't like this, just so that you guys can understand. Well, yes, this does unlock Bond 16, and a lot of us had been asking for Bond 20 for a long time. And the developer said, no, it's not going to be a thing. Well, now they've come back and they've added in a mechanism that allows you to get to at least Bond 16. The thing about this is the exchange is going to be somewhat difficult to do. You can only exchange the one time in a month, I assume. So, it is the way it is. But this is their way of begrudgingly admitting we were right. So at this point, they're eventually going to let us to go to Bond 20. I am calling it right now. Congratulations, those of you that are here. You're here for yet another prediction from me. And it's not a bold prediction. It's an obvious prediction. They are eventually going to use these items to increase us to Bond 20. Why? Because they have to. And I'm going to explain this to a lot of you guys. A lot of people that have played FGO for years have defeated every single treadmill that the developers put in front of them. Those treadmills that are designed to keep you playing the game, they now have beaten to such a pulp that there is no longer much justification for continuing to run on the treadmill. What do I mean? If you are someone like me, you have every single character leveled up to max. You have most of your character skills at least a high level, if not 999 completed like I've seen some people do. You have most of your appends already handled and done. You have completed class score. You have completed all of the Bleached Earth and its quests. You have completed all of the grand score and its stuff. So what do? How do you keep someone like me playing the game? Well, for me, I actually play the game because I like it and because, again, I'm a content creator for it. But how do you keep someone's attention long term? How do you keep them playing? You have to keep putting new treadmills. So what you see is as we head into year 11 here and we start looking towards a future for FGO. And how do we know there's a future? They literally said, see you next year. We know they're going to continue this. They have said that FGO will continue for at least a little bit longer. And that doesn't mean that it's like, oh, in a little bit longer it's going to shut down. No, they're just assuring you that FGO will continue for the short term. They're just not committing to anything for the long term, which I still think is a mistake, but it is what it is. But as we look towards year 11 and onward, you have to keep people playing the game. So therefore, you have to keep treadmills going, and you have to keep expanding systems to do that. You either add a new treadmill or you expand an existing treadmill that's on. So that's what this is. This is them expanding an existing treadmill. Bond 15? Okay, well now there's Bond 16. And I'm going to tell you, eventually it's going to lead to 17, 18, 19, and 20. Funnily enough about this, as people have already pointed out, there are no new coins from this. That's one of the reasons I don't like this. I don't know why. And chat, maybe you have more insight than me, but I truly don't know why at this point the developers don't just let coins go. What do I mean by that? Why don't they allow you to get as many coins as you want? I truly feel like the majority of players are not rolling for coins anymore. It doesn't matter. You can switch appends around. Most people don't care, and the reason they're rolling for higher MP levels is either because they want a stronger unit or truly just because they love the unit to begin with. So there's no reason to keep trying to keep coins so locked down that like the only way you can get them is from bonding and rolling the unit. It doesn't freaking matter. No one cares anymore. People have the ability to get this stuff pretty quickly. Literally, the day this dropped, we had somebody that had already hit Bond 16. Kind of absurd, a little bit, but it is what it is. So at that point, you know that you have people that will immediately go out and max something out. The devs know this. This is exactly why they have talked about this stuff time and time again, for why they have limited things like, again, storm pods and stuff with the Bleached Earth. They didn't want people to just be able to immediately snap their fingers and have it done, because then they have no reason to play the game. So the devs know that, and yet they're still trying to desperately hold on to coins as if it's some sort of revenue generating thing for them. It's not. They're not making any money off the coins at this point, I suspect. Like, maybe there are a couple of delusional people out there that still think like, oh man, I have to hit this amount of coins to perfect my unit. I truly don't think most players care. And if you're one of those that does, it's perfectly fine. But I'm just going to say, at the end of the day, there's really no reason to. And so it's really weird to me to see that they do something like give Bond 16, and it's like, oh, the new reward is one of the new foes. It's not more coins. Like, just let people get more coins. It doesn't matter. It's not going to stop someone from rolling for a unit. I think that's the stupid part about this. There's no replacement for, you know, like having a higher NP level and stuff like that. So just let people farm it. It gives you a treadmill. It actually does help the game's longevity out, because then people start farming coins and trying to max everyone that they can. And the system that you have in place for switching around a pin still matters, because people won't have servant coins maxed out to begin with. But it is the way it is. Talking about another treadmill, we do have the addition of sort of 3K foes. So this is the idea that now that you've 2K foed your unit, we need to expand the treadmill. Here's another 1,000 that you can buff someone, which is kind of hilarious to me, because to me this just is going to break the game further. If we talk about this all the time as to like whether or not a character is actually broken or anything like that, and I don't think for the majority of things that a character truly is broken, but we're getting to such a point where attack values are going to become so funny that obviously not all content in the game is going to be broken by that, but like, I mean, my god, you're just going to have people just flicking, you know, some of the like part 1 bosses and they'll die. So it's going to get a little bit ridiculous, as it's going to take a lot of the like hype out of things if players can just enhance their units to such a degree that like I don't know, it's just, to me, it's power creep. It's gonna end up where a lot of this just trivializes a lot of the content that exists in the game. Now, maybe it's designed to help gear us up for what's to come still, but the problem with things like this is you can't balance the game around this. You can't expect someone to have a 3K foed unit to be able to clear the content, because for all you know, there's some new player that like bull rushed straight to the end. And then I've had people try to argue and say like, oh, well then they shouldn't, that's their fault. And it's like, ultimately the devs are the ones that want you guys to clear content. They want that because they know that you clearing story and you getting to the end game is imperative to retaining you as a player long term. If you never complete the story, or you don't care about the story, odds are you're not going to stick with the game. If you never make it to the end game and you're always frustrated because you keep getting locked out of events and stuff like that, you're probably going to quit the game. They know this. And so, to me, they need to facilitate things that make it as easy as possible. So, again, they truly can't actually balance the game around that sort of thing. So, it is definitely interesting. Like I said, I don't mind the addition of it overall. It's more the way that it's being handled and the way that it's being locked down. And I find it funny that some of my predictions from earlier have come true, particularly the one around Bond Grails themselves. I have predicted that before. They actually had major problems with essentially like the availability of Bond Grails in general in FGO. And as we look forward, we see this, that they have basically just added more and more and more rewards and milestones that give out Bond Grails. Because they have to. Because there's no way to gain Bond Grails to the quantity that the player base needs, short of spending rare prisms. And most players aren't rolling enough to have a like vast hoard of rare prisms. So this ends up being another problem for them. And I have watched that over time as they have just given away more and more and more. So my prediction is the same problem will happen here with these and with these. They're going to have to find ways to give out more and more and more if they ever want to hope to balance the game around it. And I truly don't think that they will. So it is definitely interesting, to say the least. I'm waiting for more characters I like to use them on. Yeah, I think it's a thing. I show a couple of drop frames, but ultimately I think it settled down and it's good, so I don't know what that was. Musashi's already doing 700 to 800k crits on 90++, and that's without Koyan or Summer Scotty. Another 1k attack would make her even more nuts. Yeah, and that's... I find it just so funny because it's like all it's going to do is just break things even more. So then they're going to end up with the reverse problem of, oh, well, we put 90++ content into game to give people a challenge and to make them roll for higher NP levels. Oh no, someone grailed their unit to 120 and gold foed them up to 3k. And they no longer need to roll for the higher NP levels of that. What do we do? I don't know, here's 90+++, or here's like 100++. Like, this is just what you guys can expect. And eventually what this is going to lead to, and I've talked about it before, I mentioned it to Avalon. Avalon said that he did not agree with me, and he didn't think that they'll do this, but I'm predicting it, I'm calling it again. In the future, chat, you're going to have increased, like, levels. I think it's almost guaranteed. You will have to. The power creep will require either a reset which increasing the level can allow, or it will. And when I say reset, I don't mean like true wiping servers reset. I mean reset as in like where power levels exist. Or it's going to require just literally more levels for the characters so that normal, non-grailed, non-super enhanced characters can actually handle the content. So it's just they keep putting themselves in a corner by doing this, and I find it really funny every time they do. It is imperative to keep a little bit of power creep in the game, to keep people playing, to keep people striving for stuff, but I feel like sometimes they overstep their power creep a little bit. Yeah, the newest GSSR is definitely an interesting one. Real quick, chat. Let me find something to spend my AP on. I actually have no idea how much this even is, if it is even any AP. Oh boy, I can't read that at all. 1 AP, sweet. It's funny how they gave up on advanced quests. This is your replacement. This is a monthly challenge. That's what the 27 days are that I have to complete. It is a monthly challenge to do. So they have said no more advanced quests, basically. And they didn't actually say this, but like, this is me paraphrasing for what the devs are probably thinking, is no more advanced quests because it's too freaking annoying. Meanwhile, we're just going to have a one-size-fits-all challenge that we tweak the parameters of every month. So that's what it is. We got 10 animation updates, but not one of them was a waifu? Yeah, that's because they were all low-level units that had been neglected because they weren't waifus. Aren't some of the Cs you get from Advanced Quest not fully MLB'd yet? Correct. But I think they know. Probably gonna do this one. The Mozart buff is just kind of cracked. It's hilarious to me. Oh, why not? Let's show off some Summer BB for those that just pulled her on NA. What you can do is, if you're sure you're never going to take a single one, is just combine the copies that you do have. It's up to you if you actually want to do that sort of thing or not, but it's definitely like something to help you save a little bit on inventory. What's the Discord? You should be able to type !Discord and it should give it to you, Amanda. Mozart is better than Tamamo for 3 turn. I'd have to look at it. Tamamo still has 50% arts up, that's not limited, and still has the NP damage for the party, which is definitely a lot, but I'd have to look at exactly what Mozart does, because it's been a hot second since I looked over his kit. Like, perhaps if you use his NP. Let me see. So it reduces their arts resistance by 20%. It depends on how much you value 20% charge, I think. And how much you value arts resist down for NP gain over 30% NP damage. Personally, I would still take the 30% NP damage unless the unit was very hard up for, like, refund. But to be fair, there are already better units out there for refund than Tamamo, and this has been the case for a while. So to me, it's like, You already knew this, and you take Tamamo when the unit doesn't need more refund and instead needs more damage amp. So it's when charge is not an issue. Mozart is the best cheap art support. Arguably, yes. I do think it's very interesting now that you can probably form a team with like Shufu, Mozart, and like Paracelsus, and it would do a thing. Granted, you'd have to have like all of their stuff unlocked and leveled, but yes, this does open up more possibilities for a low star arts team. And I think it is kind of hilarious. And it's something that I've like mentioned before, that it's kind of ridiculous that we still don't have like more low star quick support options and stuff. Like Surfmo, yeah. Testing with Shufu and BB Dubai. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like the real issue is just simply that Arts has so many options, and it always has, and it always will. This is why when people tell me like somehow that Arts is the worst card type, I laugh at them. Like, it's chat. Look no further than my new player account when I was running it. What card type did I predominantly stick to? That answers your question. The easiest to form comps with. Do you think they'll give her party charge or at least 30%? I would like to see them give her party-wide defense rather than charge. I feel like she already has charge in her NP, but at this point, they've buffed so many other units that I can't rule out them giving her charge. I feel like in the past, I certainly could have. Oh my god. But, now I don't think it's as easy to rule out them giving Tamamo charge due to the just propensity of buffs that they've given other people. And they make more and more something they've created themselves. I do agree with that, Epi. I think that's a thing. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Anytime an art support gets buffed, it always comes back to Tamamo is dead. Yes. And yet, I still just pointed out right there, it's like, that's where you'll use Tamamo. Tamamo is still a better damage amp. Unless you are, again, using the NP. But if you are using the NP, then you have to factor in Tamamo's NP, which means you now get to factor in healing, you now get to factor in charge. And that charge is more than Mozart provides. So that's where it's like, it's always been a difficult argument, and it's why I find most of the time when people are arguing with me on that stuff, they're either just biased or they're trying to, like, I think, make a point, but ultimately they haven't considered all of the factors of said point. We shouldn't have a situation comparing her to 1-stars. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. Like I said to Avalon, that buff really helps Mozart, but did Mozart really need help, I think, is the better question. Like, and you guys could tell me, chat, did any of you guys feel like Mozart was a bad unit and needed a buff? But do you think it helped keep the game alive in the long run more years? I think there's a couple of like key changes they could make to things, and it would help sustain the game. I've talked about this before, but like most of it starts right away with just their marketing for FGO is wrong. They need to actually like nut up and commit to the future of the game, and yet still to this day they don't want to. Like again, like, oh, FGO will continue for a little bit more. Well, that's nice. How about you say FGO will continue for the next 5 years at least, or FGO will continue for the next 10 years at least? We had comments like that get made in the past. We have not had comments like that get made now. They don't want to commit to it. We're in a Mexican standoff basically with with the developers, where the developers want the players to commit to the game, but the players want the developers to commit to the game. And I'll tell you who's wrong. It's always the developers are wrong in that situation. Not that the players can't be like a bunch of entitled assholes, right? But that essentially the customer's always right type mentality, where it's like if you're doing something and you're expecting it's the customer that needs to perform, you haven't done your job as the like service provider. You need to do everything you can to make it as easy on the customer as possible. And I think anyone that works in the service industry will tell you that's obviously a thing, because you know that there are stupid people out there. So it's like expecting the burden to be on the customer is already just a folly to begin with. Because as we've seen, it's like, oh, so what? What are you going to do? You're going to not update FGO? Well, then people go play other shit. That's just the way it is. Doesn't mean people quit FGO. People just go play something else while there's nothing going on. Like actual ads on TV? No, not the actual ads on TV. I'm talking about, when I say the way they market the game, I mean like their messaging to community and to prospective, like onboarding new people. They need to send a clear message as to the status of FGO and where its future is headed. I do hope that they will talk about that. We still have the Famitsu interview. I think Trubs is going to be covering it either tomorrow or the day after. But again, it's like that should be coming out here soon. We'll actually get to hear from Nasu. That should be eye-opening, at least to his stance and what's happened over the past year. You guys know we heard from him basically 6 months ago when the story on JP quote-unquote ended. So it is what it is. Any of the summer units catch your eye? Let me go back and look at the picture that Avalon sent me. So this is what we're currently dealing with, chat. I know there's going to be a lot of people that are excited for Summer Lilith. We basically have Summer Habitrot. We have Summer Benny Enma, which is odd to me that we got Summer Benny Enma and not like Alter Benny Enma. So I know Trubs is going to be super hype about this. Again, we seemingly have King Protea, and this is seemingly King Protea Alter, which is a real shame because Tamamo fans are probably found dead in a ditch somewhere, because that easily could have been a like Koyanskaya version or something like that right there. I think people have pointed out that this is very likely to be at least a version of shit. What's the name of the caster, chat? This chick. I can't remember her name. So it's like, to me, this is not necessarily my cup of tea. I'm still questioning what that one is right there. I believe I talked about it with Avalon, but so far it's like I just don't care very much. Oh no, Komachi, thank you. King Protea's leak, we don't know it's real. It's pretty like 1-to-1. But we'll see. Like, it's entirely possible it's not. Call shooting. Yeah, I mean, if that's shooting, it is what it is. But like I said, to me, so far from this preview image, no, I'm not interested in Summer. At all. And I'm sorry, I'm not saying this to like offend anyone that is excited and everything, but it's like, I truly don't see anything here that I like feel the need to roll. Probably the closest would actually just be Summer Lilith. I don't know. I really like Cabby, but she's welfare, so bonus for me. Yeah, that's the other thing, is like, it is the way it is, right? Oh yeah, Bashown, right. If that is Bashown, then it is the way it is. I don't care. Like, none of this is going to get me to pull out my wallet. Bashan would be a great choice, IMO. I'm gonna say something that's bad right now, and I'm sorry. I apologize for this in advance, chat. I think Bashan would be a terrible choice because I don't think Bashan was a very popular character to begin with. Now, maybe she will be popular if they put her in a summer form, but to me, this isn't going to get people hype until they actually like see the design. And don't get me wrong, Bashan's a very well developed character. So it's entirely possible that if they do put her in a swimsuit, all of a sudden her popularity skyrockets. So that could make her a good choice in the end. I just think that as far as like her initial offering goes, she was one of the least popular characters they had released in a long time. So to me, it's just odd. It's an odd choice. Even if no wallet, we used to do free-to-play rolls so far. I might you might be able to get me to roll depending on the kit. I'm just saying from like the initial offering here of what we see in front of us, based purely off optics and aesthetics, no, I see no reason to roll. But yeah, you can absolutely make something that gameplay-wise is like functionally a requirement to roll. So it's 99% Bashan. Yeah. And I believe you are correct. I believe that was the one that I was talking about with Avalon. Now, I will say the horns are not quite right. The horns here are like this. The horns here are like this. So I secretly want Lilith to be a shielder. Middle one, I'm pretty sure, is a Tama face. That's what I said. Is the bow looks like this could be Koyanskaya. The problem at hand is that there is a leak, and this appears to be King Protea, and this is apparently KP Alter. Which, I hate that idea. I really hope we are wrong about that. Like, I know people like the soccer faces, but truly, I don't want two of our summer slots being taken up by the same character. That's just an awful thing. The issue at play is currently the leak fits the artwork 1-to-1. Like, straight up. So. Going to demoted to 4-star though? Yeah, apparently everyone depicted here is an SSR. Which is very odd. So we don't know what the makeup of the banners is going to be. Apparently, it is a big summer. So, like, I think you can anticipate that we're getting more units than normal. But, like I said, so far from this initial offering, I'm not hyping the slightest. Yeah, except Habitrot. Habitrot is stated to be the welfare. So that would mean that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 at least. Assuming this is just one unit and that there's not like someone else hiding in there. My hope is that if this is like KP Alter, my hope is that somehow it is the same unit. That would be my hope. If that's the case and it's like this is just a transformation or something, I want to just go on record right now and say I am perfectly okay with that. I have zero issues with that. My only issue at that point would be that they debated everyone by trying to make them think that this is a separate unit. But if that's the case, then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that does make a little bit more sense. That you would have 5 banners instead of 6. Who is the big one? This. And it fits pretty darn well. Because it's probably Ono no Kamachi in her normal form. They're all SSRs. I thought the hidden ones were 4 stars. That I don't know. I haven't heard if there was a distinction between this. I can only go based off what I was told. So if it's that, then you have 1, 2, 3. And if that's the case, that's fine. Which I can't really blame them, because all of these depicted are already 5 stars. With, obviously, Habitrot being an exception. Or I think the one with horns is shooting then. Chat's prevailing theory is Bichon. The issue with these horns is that they don't fit shooting either. Have they announced the summer stream yet? That I don't know. You'd have to ask Robes. I do agree with that, Adonic. Are those Snake Lancer swords? That's, like I said, most people think that it's Bichon, but it's truly not exactly a perfect match. Granted, we've seen things before where, like, they changed the design slightly for a summer version, so who knows? Maybe that is shooting. Maybe that is Bichon. We don't really know. Maybe it's someone else entirely. Maybe it's a new unit. I could see Tomoe in that a little bit. Or even maybe a little bit like Merlin. Do you think they're just doing 6 5-star units, which would be insane? I don't think it would be insane. I think like anything's possible at this point. Like people will sit there and say like, that's insane. They can't do that. Because they haven't done it before doesn't mean they can't do it. There's nothing stopping them from just offering entirely like 5 stars. Could be Lancer, Arturia, Alter, Summer. I would be so upset if it was like Lalter with like Merlin hanging on her back. That would just piss me the fuck off. Like it would be hilarious, but I would piss me the fuck off at the same time. The player base will get so pissed. What's the player base gonna do? Like, please tell me, as upset as everyone is, if this was 6 different banners with 6 SSRs, what would the player base do? They would mold and cry while hitting the roll button. Like, I hate to say it, right? Like, it's just the truth. Unfortunately, when they have you by the balls, it is what it is. Okay, chat. I need to do some things. So there's Azrael. Let me do my free story summon. They brought the daily story summon back for a month. Apparently, Mr. 2 was able to get them to agree to do it for a month, but he could not get them to agree to putting it in full time. So I want you guys to understand, yet again, Mr. 2 went to bat for y'all and tried to get the daily story poll put in permanently. And the higher ups said no. Because the higher ups are assholes. They're greedy, money hungry assholes. But they have to know that no one rolls story, right? Unfortunately, I think you can blame the people that have sat there and done like, I'm gonna throw like 1,000 quartz at the story banner and just see what I get type of things. Do you think they too much with paid banner this year? What do you mean? Sorry. Which GSSR are you going for, Cad? Nah, that's a great question. It's Gigic's fault. Yes, let's all blame Gigic. I'm just gonna be honest, I don't really like Gigic, but at the same time, we cannot blame Gigic for every problem that persists. Actually, hold on. Let me go back and double check my mailbox as well. My mailbox is getting kind of full. I need to clean this shit out. Most of it's gold foes. What the hell, man? I've also got to be getting close on some... Oh! Yeah. That was a little close. So is Bond 20 really a thing along with 3K foes? No, Bond 16 is a thing, but it will eventually lead to Bond 20, if you ask me. Okay. Ah, yes, the GSSR. So let's see. And is it this button? No. Is it this button? No. Is it this button? That's the button. Okay. So JonTron's a little bit of a non-starter there. Don't have a Prelati, but I'd rather not roll that banner. This one's just kind of not gonna happen. This is a very interesting banner. I hate the fact that they snuck Ilya onto it, just purely because Ilya is an older unit, right? Like, but man, that is a completely free banner for me in the sense of, like, there's no threat on me pulling on it. I still haven't pulled Miss Crane on JP, which is surprising, but it's also not a big deal. The hilarity here being that I somehow don't have Summer Ibuki on JP. That's just evil. That's such an evil banner from so many perspectives. Granted, it's also a really good banner from so many perspectives. This is also a pretty cracked banner, honestly. Ooh, that's also a good one. No Buki? Yes, I do not have a Buki on JP. This is why Chat, do you guys remember the craze of like a couple of years ago where everyone was like screaming that you had to roll a Buki and I was laughing at them? That's why I was laughing, because I didn't have a Buki on JP and I'd gone through all the current content without one, and I knew that you didn't have to have one. So it was like, I never understood why people went so apeshit on that. I think it was just a lot of people were hard up for Ibuki and they wanted everyone else to fall into that depravity with them. That's not a terrible one. I could roll that and hope for an NP2 Morgan Le Fay and know that I obviously would not get her. Okay, so is this the special beast one? Or wait. Hold on, I'm confused, chat. Which one's this? Is this just potluck? No, that's Destiny. Okay, thank you. Oh, right, we have 2 Destiny pools this time. This is the beast one. This is so funny because I'd be willing to bet a good chunk of players have at least one of these characters at a high NP level. Yeah, so it's like, I could easily see how this is a USO for a lot of people. Do it, Cad. Pull that Draco. How many do I have? I have 65 paid. I don't think I'm gonna do that, chat. So, I think it's between this one. Well, sorry, hold on. I think it's between this one, I could maybe do this one. This one's not bad. I just end up with NP2 of the Norn there. I'd rather not do this one. And I think this one. Inside Moon Bunny are really good. I know. I think it truly is gonna be that one. I think this is just such a safe one for me. So let's go ahead. Let's roll the dice. I don't know why it's screaming at me. Can we gamble on which unit? No. Juan, thank you for the follow. Gold orbs right off the bat. Seba, which is no one. Yeah, I was gonna say, so that's Yagyu. Yagyu's not new for me on JP. Get sat on? Yeah, sitting EX. I feel like it's gonna be Shiki is who I'm gonna end up with. But truly, I actually don't have a dog in this fight. I like all 3 of these characters, so. That was a brief pause. The Servant. It's gold. It's Assassin. Is it gonna be Gensai? It is. Let's go. I'll take that. I really like Gensai's character. Summoned by Yagi, yeah. Let's see. Now, yeah, it's possible I could get a double, but I doubt it. Well, this is already free real estate, so... Berserker? Never mind. It's a banana, chat. Yeah, it was basically Kenshin is who we got. Well, Roroni Kenshin, not Waisuke Kenshin. I think Fox blessed us with the Gensai luck. One of your 5 a day is important. Mm-hmm. That's new? Just need bowl cut to pop up now. Yeah. NEC, it's probably a redo of one of the older ones then, because I didn't recognize... Like, the artwork was familiar, but it's not the same as what I remember. There we go. Not a bad GSSR. I'll take that. I'm perfectly fine with that result. Love that we hit the Eurobeat just as you're rolling. That's true, but is there going to be any more Eurobeat after this song? The joke of Gensai inspiring Rurouni Kenshin? Probably. I also just think there's a tendency to make a lot of the Japanese characters black and white. Because they're very aesthetic and cool looking Japanese colors. Gensai made the Assassin Grand Easy? Yeah. I think the 2 ones that I used the most were Fox's Gensai and somebody else had an NP5 comma that just shredded the Grand Assassin. Okay, that's done. Now we have Destiny Order. I am pitifully short here. Maka. Alright, so this is gonna be our like 7 base classes here. So Sabers is a little bit interesting. I actually have so many NP5 Sabers. At least for my JP account. I don't have Arthur pulled. That's interesting. I don't have Musashi. Ah, yeah. That asshole. I spent over pity for Muramasa on JP and never got him because pity wasn't in place by the time his banner came out. Pashalip actually is a really good gain here, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of agree with that choice just because Passionlip has a unique ability in her kit that no one else does. It'll be nice to have her if I can manage to land her. Okay, archers. I don't have Super Orion. I don't have Tut, Ptolemy, Durga, or oh man, this is such a weird choice for me. Do you like Maca? Yes, guess, guess. I already have an Ishtar. Tut kills himself, which is both nice and frankly like unneeded because he's a 5-star, and so having a unit that kills themselves that's a 5-star is a little freaking weird. That's one of my big criticisms of him. I don't think he's a bad unit, but he's somewhat difficult to use because of that. Pick old Orion. It wouldn't surprise me if they gave Artemis another buff at some point. NP2 Erd, I was actually considering it. Yeah, oranges, I don't have them, chat. Yeah, Ptolemy is who I'm kind of considering on the side, because, and just to prove that to you guys, I actually have him pulled up right now. Basically because, again, he just can shift, so he's nice for doing either or. Yeah, red is limited, blue is permanent, green is story locked. This is such a weird choice, because truly there's like no one here that I actually hard need. I have a single target and an AoE that are both in P5. But Tesla's a pretty good unit. He really is. I'm gonna put Ptolemy in. Mostly just so that I have some differentiation there. Okay, Lancers. I have NP5 Lartoria, and before chat even begins to utter that I somehow need another AoE Lancer, I do not. She is literally, due to buffs, the strongest AoE Lancer in the game. I don't need anything. I at least have an NP2 Shisho that's single target there. Enkidu is actually not a bad pickup. The issue is Enkidu is permanent, and I really don't want to be using this on a perma. Another Lartoria, yeah, no. I could go for Ellie. Yeah, Liz is actually pretty darn good here. Let me remind myself of Liz's kit. It's been a hot second since I looked her over. She's party overcharge. She charges based off the number of Elizabeth units. That's right. It's the cause or a drop mechanic. Charges zone in P gauge, charges parties in P gauge. That's not bad. And she's single target. Anti-dragon. Hmm. I do feel like I want more single target options. Because as you guys can see, I have plenty of like AoE. It's single target if anywhere is where I'm lacking. And I think it's like between her and like Bima for that. And I really don't care too much for Bima. Granted, this right here is calling my name. Chat, convince me not to go for her. Convince me not to. Tell me why I should go for Liz. Tell me why I should go for Liz. Okay, let me. Yeah, someone mentioned costumes. Let me look at Liz's outfits. Okay, I did forget about that. Chat, Liz does have this outfit though, which is just great. I'm not gonna lie. I do love the like energy of that design. Just the I've come here to beat you. I think it's Liz. I think we do Liz. I think the rock shirt convinced me. Okay, chat. Yeah, no is an interesting one. He does buff animal allies. If I remember, Bunny counts for that. How much was his charge? He's 50 and 20. Shit. Did you like the movie, Skylar? Europa will give EX candy. Did, okay. Also, I just want to point out that I low-key hate how easy it would be to, like, fuck this up since I can't read Japanese. Actually a little bit triggering there. Yeah. We're gonna go with Nemo. Pastors. I like how long this is taking me because JP has far less like I have far less of a comprehensive account on JP, so I have to actually make choices. As opposed to NA, it's like, oh, I'm missing this one character. Okay, Prelati's unique gimmick. Wasn't it that you got better benefits from being in a certain form so that you started Prelati out in one form, popped like one or two of the skills and then switched and popped the rest? Oh, but Prelati's not a... No, it is a defensive and then offensive NP. Okay. Well, sorry, not defensive, but debuffing and offensive. Party buff removal resistance 100%. One time 3 turns on a damage dealing NP is kind of nutty. Your Saberface casters are not MP5. That is a very valid point. I cannot argue this point. Okay, we do it. So, see, chat, now I got Gensai. So now Gensai is probably who I would have taken here. Now I don't have to. Hmm. I think the choice here is obvious. Because as you guys know, there's a very, very, very good assassin here that we definitely need more MP levels of. So we're going to take MHX. Okay, now for Berserkers. I could finish my Musashi finally. I really shouldn't. I truly hate myself. I truly, truly hate myself, chat. It's so funny how, like, the left side is like, all unique units, the right side's like, we've reverted back to form. It's all saber faces. Alright, chat, here we go. Send it. Okay. I'm actually going to go get myself a pack because I'm gonna need it to do the last GSSR. And hopefully this will be the last pack I buy on JP for a while. Okay. Oh. That's new Annie C, right, chat? Caster? Ah, never ends. Saberface luck just keeps happening. Okay. Making sure the transaction finished. But yeah, that's not surprising to me in the slightest. It was a rather boring GSSR, but it is the way it is. Cad getting a Morgan? Yep. Just not the Morgan that I originally had wanted, right? Okay. This is Destiny, though. It is. It truly was destiny. Okay, so this is the latter half of Destiny. This is going to be a little bit interesting because I'm forced to select a beast here. Which is just so funny that, like, they receive so much criticism about the beast and they're like, here's a free beast. Okay. Chat, I know the saber face is right, but like no. No, you're not tricking me. It's not limited. It's eventually gonna be in P5, and I'm so aware of it. I actually have quite the selection of rulers here. The only ones that I'm lacking are Karen, these three, and young Mori. Ruler looks like a dud for you. Yeah, I think it's probably going to end up being an MP2 of her. Oh, that's such a difficult one in comparison. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm actually torn on this one. I really like that's a great unit right there. That's new, still interesting. That right there is straight up one that I wish that I had gotten, but at the time did not. I would love to have another NP level of that. We just got her on an A, so I'd prefer not to get her again. Ushi is absolutely a fantastic one there. Tyra is just a tough unit to bring down. My Space Ishtar at NP2 is actually probably fine for now. NP2 of that just is ridiculous and would be stronger than Space Ishtar, so it is what it is. Jalter being NP2 would also be ridiculous, and that being anything more than 2, well, frankly, I prefer to leave my Dantes at MP1 because it reminds me that when everybody was asking, can you loop with that unit? Can you loop at NP1? I kept reminding people that yes, in fact, you could, and that people stating that you needed higher NP levels were just fucking wrong. My Dantes is what allowed me to prove that to so many people. So we're gonna go with Jalter there. Alter fucking ego. I do have a melt. I do have a Bazette. I actually thought my Bazette was higher than MP1 on JP. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't have a Tiamat. Granted, this is an easy in to another 70% unit. Okitan's only MP1. Yeah, Okitan's only MP1. Okitan was a much harder unit to acquire on JP for me. Iscalifus is the new name. Yeah, this is such a tough choice. I think it is a Scalifus. It's just, it's such a, like, tough one to pass on at this point. Yeah, this is why I've never rolled one on an A. And I want you to understand that. I have paid for my sins. Okay? I required no more. That would not be a bad thing to get more of. Do we ever stop paying for our sins, Cad? Yes. When you repent. Oh, right. Moon Rabbit's got some friggin' weird bullshit. Both single target and AoE. Uh, she's the only one I don't have. And I'm just going to say I truly don't need anyone else here. I think this is the very obvious choice. It's just that or making my seal even stronger. And chat, my NP3 seal did every Olga fight, so it just doesn't matter. Forana. Somehow, and I have actually rolled for her, somehow I do not have her. Van Gogh is a tempting pickup here. Very tempting. And I think chat's on to something. I think chat's on to the idea that like Van Gogh would be a new unit. Van Gogh is fun. Van Gogh works in challenge environments, so she'd be great to do. So I think that's exactly what we're gonna do. Whoops, sorry. That's not what I meant. I meant that. And there we go. All right, next. Are you saying chat is on the go? Yes. Pretender. This one's a little bit more difficult. Typhon's good. Dante is interesting. I don't feel like Dante actually has like staying power in that regard. Is MP2 seal enough if I level her to 100? NP1 seal's enough. You just gotta like manage things properly and everything. I'm gonna be honest, and this is an actual gameplay choice right there. What do you even do here, chat? I feel like it is Olga. I feel like Olga's what I do, but like they need to release more beasts. I hate to say it. Like, you can't sit here and deprive everyone of beast and then suddenly make all this beast specific content. Like you've got to actually like put some shit in there. Oh, is it gonna scream at me that I don't have enough? Okay, hold on. I swear to God, if I have to redo that. Wait, is it not? Let me reboot JP. I got it? Okay. I didn't see that I did. We need SR beasts. We just need them to actually explore the B storyline a little bit more. Like, you guys have seen, when we get B story, it's very interesting. Give us your credit card information, you can trust us? No. It showed up right before the pay screen? That's so weird. Oh, good, it does remember. Alright, here we go. One-star Beast Lion Saber with meat caliber? That'd be amazing, honestly. Seminole Beast as a whole is a dumb concept. Yeah, a little bit. Oh my god, chat. It's the unexpected Shufu that's gonna show up like 4 times because there's... oh. Well, that hesitated. It's gold. It's a moon cancer. It's... what? How? You're even hacking the freaking Destiny summon! Like, what the hell, man? That's not the moon cancer I expected. Avenger, is it gonna be Jalter? It's Jalter. Okay, I can be happy with this. But holy shit, man. Like, what the hell was that shit? I truly have no words. That now I have NP4 Summer BB on JP to match my NP4 that I just rolled on NA. It's truly insane. Need some CAD not like this in the chat. You got 4 on an 8, yep. And I thought Fino was the BB enjoyer. Apparently BB enjoys me is the issue. I find it hilarious you could be spooked by limiteds on the Destiny order. Yeah. That's the first time I've ever gotten double on a Destiny order. Like, truly. What? A triple? I have never had a triple before. I've never even seen a triple happen. I've seen, like, people posting the aftershot, but I've never seen it live happen to anyone else. I am super stoked about this, too, because now I didn't have to decide between Marie. This is deja vu, yes! BB truly did hack the Destiny order. Truly hacked the Destiny order. That is such an insane freaking roll. I am glad I bought the pack. I am glad I bought it just for that. Holy crap. What a ridiculous outcome. Woo! It's like the Destiny order mandated that I must have a new unit. Now Triple Beast, I feel like Triple Beast is such a waste. It's like, I'll do it, but I should not do this. I really freaking should not do this. And I'm gonna end up getting punished with a Draco USO. Depends on the beast, yes. Triple incoming? No, unfortunately, because I got that triple, I'm probably not gonna, like, outside of GSSR, see luck for a while. I think the game knows what it did, and it's gonna punish me. The good news is, since they're all beasts, we shouldn't get any golds. It should just shut down the second we roll one. Ooh, story locked. Interesting. Yeah, I'm actually low-key hoping for Olga here. And P6 incoming Bob did the same. Well, a little bit Saberface luck here would be not getting a Saberface, but it is the way it is. Mori coins may be all I have to look forward to from this. I got Baby Dubai, I did a single multi, and I was done. I don't know how that happened. I'm going to be honest to you guys. I have never in my life seen something like that. A Saber, so this is not... Hi, Fran. There's an old one right there. Yeah, I think I started playing the game when that summer was out on JP. So just random Summer Fran, so yet another unit. And here we go, chat. The shutdown. Who's it gonna be? Oh, is this Space Airish? Yes. Let's say I'm pretty sure the blue one is Space Airish. There we go. I'll take it. It's at least not a USO. Head pat time indeed. Gold one's Olga, yeah. Gold orbs, so yet another one. Man, this has just been an insane set of rolls. Alter Ego. Okay. I passion lip. Good lord, man. This was a pretty insane set of GSSR. So did anyone else, and I'm not expecting people to be like, oh yeah, I also had a triple CAD, but like, did anyone else have like pretty insane luck on these? Did you guys get like random stuff that you never would have expected? Like, I'm more surprised by things like this and this than I am by obviously getting the thing that I intended to roll for. Did you say Ultra Ego? Yes. You got 2 doubles on the 4 banners? Nice. Okay, chat. Let's take a look. I gotta quickly and briefly look at our new sussy boy. Self-debuff immunity, guts, self-evasion, 80% self-charge. Just doesn't even have to have guts in order to get that. When the target is not self, reduces own skills cooldown by 2, increases own arts performance by 3, grants the ally guts, increases their attack for 3 turns, charges their gauge. By how much? 30%? When the target is self, reduce own skill cooldowns by 2, increase own arts performance for 3 turns. Increase own critical damage, gain critical stars. Okay. And his third skill is chance to inflict thirst for death. 100% chance to instant kill. If it fails, 500% chance to reduce their defense by 50% for 1 turn. I was going to say, we all know that 100% chance to instant kill is not 100% in actuality. Still just actually crazy that that's going on. Um 20% every turn for 3 turns is not bad. Oh, he's anti-beast. Intriguing. He's immune to instant kill, as we expect. He's 100% charm resistant. That's... So 100% charm resistance for a male is actually really freaking good. Because there's just some annoying, like, bosses that have a tendency to, like, charm lock males. So that's gonna make Hassan basically a, like, just easy choice for those fights. Activates first. Wow. He's single target arts. Charges his own NP gauge by 50% if instant kill succeeds. I still feel like they're doing this wrong. They did the same thing with Cursed Arm. I really wish they would invert that, where if the instant kill fails, they get it 50% refunded. That's the way I wish it would work. But unfortunately, we don't get that stuff all the time. There is no difference between his NP other than name. I'm sorry, I need to see that sprite. What the hell is that stage 3 sprite? Jesus Christ, that is terrifying. That is actually terrifying. Don't worry, he doesn't really need that 50% trust us on that. Yeah, I doubt he does. Hiya! Chat, let's roll. Let's see if I can get a copy. He's Death Incarnate, yep. I love they went biblically accurate horror with them, pretty much. I didn't realize this, chat, but today is a roll stream. It is what it is. Those of you that are sticking around, you get all the content. A look under the armor, yeah. Turned into a real X-Men villain. Well, it's okay. That's why we're bringing Professor X back for Doomsday, so that we can kill him off one more time. Ezreal's anti-class is anti-beast, by the way, yeah. Which is definitely interesting, and it fits with Hassan. If you guys remember the events of Singularity 7, right? Like in Babylonia, he essentially just nukes the fuck out of a beast. Like he imparts the actual like concept of death to it. So he's gonna hug Magneto one last time and just fall over dead. I can't say without triggering a censor. Then don't. His voice lines with other servants are hilarious. I haven't looked at any of that. Again, so like I explained to people before, I was gone the whole weekend. I got to like check in and see what the anniversary stuff was, including the fact that we got a node that gave us 30 quartz. We basically ended up getting all these GSSRs. We got Azrael as an actual unit. So a lot of this is very interesting to me, but ultimately, I think the biggest thing that I want to see that is still to come, and that's that Famitsu interview. You guys know the way it is. I'm really looking forward to Trubs translating it, getting to watch him stream it live as he does, as always, and to actually hear what, like, Nasu, Mr. 2, everybody kind of has to say about the future of FGO. I want to hear it. I'm sure Nasu's going to talk a lot about the past and what has happened, but I want to hear about what he has to say at the end about the future. He does it every time. Because frankly, and for those of you guys that have been around, you know I have a chip on my shoulder about how Nasu has talked about FGO for a long time. And he said, like, oh, everything has to come to an end, blah, 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 blah. I feel like Nasu can't do that anymore. Like, it's happened. The end occurred. He can't doom and gloom it anymore. So now he has to actually give us the truth. Like, he has to actually be straight with us for a second. And that, I think, is something I'm looking forward to after literally a decade of Nasu kind of yanking everyone's chain. He's going to have to actually talk about, yeah, I guess we'll continue on. So, I'm looking forward to hearing him say it. He'll try to doom, probably. I mean, and I'm okay if he says, like, hey, you know, we can't commit to this indefinitely, right? Like, there's gotta be a thing. Needs to be before Duskbloods comes out. I mean, I'm sure it will. But it's one of those things of, like, I truly will be glad to put this era of FGO behind us and say, like, the story is now complete that Nasu wanted to tell. Now, let's see where he lets the game go from there. I'm sure Nasu will still be involved to a degree, but I suspect Nasu is going to take a step back and let other people write for FGO, at least somewhat, and just be more of the guiding hand than he ever has been. Did you know there's an Elden Ring movie shooting? I did. Definitely going to be interesting. As long as it's bringing in money, it'll keep going. Yep. And that's why I think, like, when we talked about them not giving us the story pull permanently, I think the higher-ups are probably worried about that sort of thing, and, like, that if they give it to us, then they'll never have to roll anything else. It's like, it hasn't been a thing for 10 years. If you start now, it'll still be another 10 years before people ever reach a point where they feel like they got enough significance out of it. Like, I truly don't think it's an issue. I'm just happy people can't blame FGO for Nasu procrastinating on stuff. They still will, but it'd be even less grounded in reality. I look, to be fair, I think you can blame FGO to an extent, but ultimately, people need to remember how Nasu was prior to FGO. He still dragged his feet and didn't complete projects. So people can get upset and they can blame FGO all they want. But truly, it's just Nasu. It's just the way he is. And I'm not saying that, like, Nasu's, like, lazy or anything like that. I actually believe that Nasu is just juggling too much shit behind the scenes. He probably needs, like, a personal assistant. He probably needs to delegate more and stuff like that. But that's not who Nasu is. He can't do that. So ultimately, at the end of the day, I think it's part of who he is. It's part of the reason he's such a talented writer, because he can't hand things off. He micromanages, and we get super high quality stories because of it. The downside is you don't get them very often. That is your issue. Yep. You just get stuck and need to work on other things to get the juices flowing. Yeah. It's the equivalent of, like, having a mental reset or, like, going on vacation or something like that. And it's like, all of a sudden you notice when you take your mind off something and you come back to it, suddenly you have new ideas. Suddenly you have a new perspective. Or suddenly you just get over that, like, block that you had as you just kind of realize that the deliberation that you had between two choices was rather pointless. So it's a number of things, but honestly, I'm okay with that. A servant with a revive gimmick? They might. We'll have to see. He's busy writing an old story now. Yeah. Like the Pigify effect, 100%. Cat, hurry up and pull Azrael so I can go make food. Okay, thanks. Epi, go make food so you can miss me pulling Azrael. And I say this for your own good so that you actually get some food. Would roll for a second copy of Seal and Golden BB. I would tell you, if anything, to roll for a second copy of Seal, but that's just me. Of course, Cersei's been rotting since everything's immune to Pigify these days. It's just like they started making everything immune to Charm because Charm Lock was such an easy, like, out for everything. And I get it. I understand that the devs don't want to, like, allow that sort of stuff, but it's like, just do it. Like, let the players have their fun. I understand they want challenging content in the game, but it's like, to me, I think most players just want to have fun with the game. To some players, that fun is challenge. So if you want to provide optional challenge content, I don't have a problem with it. But to me, the challenge quests at the end of an event are not really optional. You need to do them as a player because they've put the crystallized lore there. And that's one of your most consistent and best, like, abilities to get crystallized lores is right there. So I've always held the opinion it's like, no, you should always be doing the CQ in every event, no matter what. So the problem with that is if you want to make optional content, you need to not lock rewards behind it so that the players don't feel like they have to do it and instead becomes more of a like bragging rights thing. A la the damage tests that you have in the anniversary on JP. I'm not doing them because I just don't care. But if you care about bragging rights, you're going to go do that. If you care about a challenge, you're going to go do that. So that's the thing. I've often seen as people want to have more and more shit locked behind challenges, but I truly feel like all that does for the players is it reduces the engagement level and it eventually just ends up like effectively kind of not pricing people out, but making it so that they don't want to do it. It's too much of a bother. It's too much of a hassle. And I think a good chunk of the player base just says, I'm not spending the time to do that. An example, this would be the Super Recollections. There are people like me that did every single one. There are other people out there that said, that's just not worth it. And I don't blame them. There's no real reason that they needed to do it. So to me, that's at least a idea. That's a way that challenge content should be designed, is so that it is optional to you and not something you must do. With a friend 120 grand Olga and like waiver and some welfares. Well, if you got the link, send it over. I'm not exactly looking to make it a hard thing either. Like, and I'm okay with them putting challenge content in the game, but I actually do like, it's like, okay, they put challenge content in the game. You have a month to clear it. It's not a like, oh, you must clear it like today. That's fine. A Catalyst song? Yeah. It is. I was actually building a rock playlist in Spotify today. I may switch us over to Spotify eventually for music, just so that we get a little bit more variety. I feel like sometimes people get stuck on what they song request. And see, chat, behold, is this like, this is gonna take me to pity since I got that stuff now. Like the triple GSSR is going to make me get punished. Oh, it's Lulter and Merlin. Interesting. Hilarious that when they need a monthly challenge quest, they remember that shit like the Wild Hunt is a thing. I forgot it needs Logress. I mean, I still haven't even gotten to that point. Yeah. And Liz of the End. Interesting. Gone insane from the pain that they surely know. Logress is a third of the way to the bottom 14. Nice. I've certainly used her a lot, but I always do this where I use a unit a bunch at first, and then I park them and start trying to like mix things up a bit, just so I don't overuse the unit. Because I don't know why, even though we have like bond overflow and stuff like that, I've still have always operated under the idea of like spreading bond around, being efficient with it, not trying to like be wasteful. New CE. They also suspiciously didn't put Logress in any of the GSSRs. She was in the Destiny order, but yeah, not in any of the pools. At least I don't think. You going for one copy? I will try to get one copy. I'm not sure I exactly want to go to pity on this. Time marches on. Ba-da-na-na-na. They might treat her like Draco. Okay, so let me say this though, right? Let's play devil's advocate. What if they treat her like Draco? Is chat gonna freak out? Is chat gonna be like, oh my god, where's my Logress? Because the reason I point this out was chat able to get Draco. It's almost like with time, they bring a unit back anyways. Exactly. Lol's right. There will always be a new banner. Always. I found the, like, the hysteria involving the beasts to be really funny for a while. I was like, they're gonna come back. Oh, yeah? I see Katana. I was curious who song requested this. Do it. Now I have her in P4 on my JP account. Yeah. Yeah, there's been numerous abilities to get Draco. And I feel like everyone getting like super upset is, I understand it, but I tried to like calm people down and make people realize, and I feel like some people just want to be upset, right? The era of when is the next banner coming is over. There will always be a next banner. Yeah. I firmly believe like again, I used to do so much content on when will the next banner be? What do you guys need to consider? Why do you guys need to roll now? I don't do that anymore. It's always like roll if you want to. You don't have to like roll here. Just be patient if you're concerned. Because if anything, the past couple of years has shown us that there will always be another banner. Sometimes there will be multiple in the same year. It's really not a big deal. Oberon really traumatized us. It's so funny, too, because I tried to warn people about Oberon. I tried to tell everyone that they needed to roll, but there were so many people that tried not to. It's just GSSR based off school clubs, yeah. And that's, like I said, it was a devil's advocate. Do I think that they're actually treating Logris that way? No. Am I concerned? No. And so I'm telling you guys that so that nobody in chat freaks out. There's really no reason to be concerned about banner availability at the current point in time with at least the current strategy that the developers are using for banners. If that changes over time, maybe. We'll see. Was Arc the longest gap between reruns? No. No. Cat, have you tried baring thy neck? No, I have not. Although I did get sunburnt on my neck pretty bad. We went to the beach the other weekend. Did I tell chat that we went to the beach? I think by the time you guys got to see me on stream again, like, my arm is still peeling a little bit from that, but, like, you haven't really been able to tell that I even got sun. She was gone for a while. Arcuid was gone for a while, but yeah, it's... Nothing under 2 years should scare anyone. And I know that sounds crazy. Like if you take that out of context, that should be like, what do you mean, Cat? That's so long. But like, oh my god, we've had people that have been gone 4 years. So that's nothing. Truly. The sun is a deadly laser. Indeed it is. It's such a good video. I gotta find that and show that to the girlfriend if she hasn't seen it. I think Keo Lancer was the longest wait. Technically, I think you're right, because she was basically same banner as Squirtoria. Yeah, truly nothing. This... See, chat, behold, as the GSSR luck. Did I get lucky? Hell yes. Should I be thankful? Hell yes. What am I getting now? Nothing. We haven't even seen a gold spin. Like, there hasn't been a 4-star. This is truly barren. There is zip, zilch, nada. No. FGO remembered that. It did. This is me flushing my tickets down the toilet. I just spent 70 tickets to get 0. The BB tax? Pretty much. Hello, Vin. Why so serious? I don't know. I'm not serious. Say Dubai has no tax. Would you give us and it take us away? Yes. Probabilistic independence is in question here. It is what it is. Like, random seeds are random, but they're not truly random when they're in a like computer generated environment. They're simulated. And I've said before, I still feel like these gacha games have like little bit of like ways of tweaking things. So they're a lost belt? Yes. She's none of the banners, so she can't hack. That's true. Granted, I didn't think she was on the other banner either, and she managed to hack that. So at this point, if BB shows up here, I think we know. I think we know something's up at that point. Okay, last 2 tickets, chat. Quick, someone insert the Thanos meme of, but what did it cost? Everything. Think you might go to pity on this one? I truly believe that I will. She needs a hacking animation when some of them be really cool. It really would be. Like I said, I actually think that FGO needs a lot more of those like special animations when they summon. I think it's such a cool thing. And I think they're worried that like if they do too many of them, it won't be cool anymore. And I'm like, no, it'll always be cool. It'll always be a spectacle. Always. Yeah, at least with a multi, I'm forced to get a 4-star CE. Or something. There you go, chat. Now, time for my min roll. I feel one of the summer servants is going to be a beast. That wouldn't surprise me, actually. I think Nasu's beginning to let go of a lot of the restrictions on beasts because he knows that, like, it's just cool and people want it, and I think the rule of cool is winning out. What are the rolls for? Azrael. We're going to attempt to get a copy. Beast Benny. Beast Benny would be wild. Trubs would go nuts over that just because of the, like, possibilities there. You need to talk in your Gramps voice as a catalyst. I don't know that I can for a long time without hurting my voice. It's so funny because Camazotz is still like the only unit to this day that Nasu's like gone out of his way to say like will not become a unit. Obviously, I think if people want it enough, he will. But I think it's one of those where there's some people that really want him, and I think most other people just don't care. So I wonder if it's not enough for the devs to actually like force Nasu's hand on. Any bells for the ritual? I mean, we have bells somewhere. I truly don't know that I have an actual catalyst for Hassan. Oh, people would think that Camazotz would be a beast? I don't know. That'd be a weird one. I guess you could technically argue that he could be in a way, but... We're old, that's enough of a catalyst? How dare you? The cash money Camazotz would bring in. To be fair, this is where, like, at least the developers seemingly don't care, right? The developers make choices that are best for like story purposes, and they don't care about the money because they truly believe that the money will flow in if they make a good story. And they are correct. The higher ups seem to not care and just only want money. The higher ups are like Mr. Krabs, are like, money! So it's one of those things where, yeah, if you wrote the higher ups and let them know, you might actually get some movement on that. Because I think the game developers are like, no, we're not doing this because it's bad for story purposes, at least. It's just at the point where they can make literally any servant anniversary and people will break the bank. Yeah. And that's why I keep saying, like, people are like, oh man, people would be upset if they did like, 5 or 6 SSRs for summer, and it's like, I don't think they would be. Like, people would only be upset in the sense that they probably felt like they couldn't roll them all. But it wouldn't stop them from attempting to get the units that they wanted. Like, they're not going to sit there and be like, I boycott because I can't get everything. If you're somebody that gets everything, you are already spending a shit ton of money on the game anyways. Yeah, this is truly one of the, like, worst doldrums that I can remember in recent memory. Try a Nico pick, maybe Doge will help. Usually I send people the pictures on Discord, so if you message me on Discord, I'll get you the picture. But otherwise, I don't have one handy without getting into my phone, and I'm not showing chat the pictures on my phone. Literally for privacy reasons. Nothing, like, actually that I need to hide. I think 6 SSRs is overkill in such a quick succession. Oh, I completely agree. Like, I'm not arguing the point that 6 SSRs is reaching a point of diminishing returns, right? I'm simply stating that, like, people would be upset, but it would amount to nothing. Like everyone would just roll anyways. And if we need proof of that, look no further than people rolling for a 6 copy of units. People wholeheartedly embraced getting fleeced purposely just so they could flex. I don't think anyone's gonna actually get upset. You must roll 70 years in hell before Azrael? Apparently. Apparently I have to embrace my inner demon and just go to town on some Lamu and, like, scoop his skull out and eat it. First time since 2017 I'm not spending on anything. I do understand and respect people that don't want to spend because the developers have not, like, really cemented what the future of the game is and stuff. I don't fault anybody for that sort of thing. These have been some of my worst rolls in a long time. And it's just really funny to see that, like, oh, yeah, what happens after you get a triple like that. The game's like, nah. Just say I'm a beast and Azrael will come. But I'm not a beast. What? Maybe defeating him in a grand battle will work? Well, I could probably go do his challenge. Nothing worth to get my account other than similar units. Well, like I said, my hope is that I don't have to touch my, like, paid courts for a long time there. And that I just can build and build and build. Because truly, we have summer. I think I think a little bit. JP's gonna have a hard time getting me to roll, as it historically has for the past couple of years. JP's put out a lot of new units. Most of those new units don't do like unique enough things that I actually require them, and from there it becomes a desire sensor. And I'll be honest, I haven't cared too much for a lot of the newer units. Like, they're not historically super significant characters, or I don't care too much for the design. Like, I truly don't find them that interesting, and because we're not getting enough story, I feel like there's not enough interaction there for me to care. Now, granted, part of this is also because I play on JP, but I can't read Japanese. If that were different, then obviously that might make a difference. So it's like, oh, maybe I do read the story that they're involved in, and then all of a sudden I feel a different way about that. But that being said, it's like, if all we have are the story interactions, it does still feel like it's a little bit lackluster in some cases. Design quality is lowered a lot. I don't think it's quality that's lowered. It's just design choices feel like they're different. Chat, I'm going to literally pull the plug on that and reboot in the hopes that it gives me a different seed. Like, that is so historically bad when you go 330 and get nothing. Like, nothing. Not a 4-star. Nothing. That's where you go like, okay, the seed is just awful now. I think they need more incentives to log in at this point, because a lot of the times it feels a bit dated for logins. I don't think that's the case at all. I think the logins are fine. Especially compared to some of the newer gotchas that are a little bit more stingier with like logins and stuff. I don't feel like that's an issue. Did you even get a 5-star C not on rate up? Not on rate up, I don't know. I definitely got one that was on rate up. Is Heavy a 4-star? Yeah. Did I turn on the login reminder function? No, because I don't really have that issue. Like I said, the only login I've ever missed outside of maintenance for the one that happened on an A there. The only login I've missed was once on JP, and that was fairly recently. I still don't know how it really happened. I somehow like bookended it and logged in perfectly outside of the 24-hour period, despite logging in like back-to-back days. So it just was fucky. But it's because it was busy that day, if I remember correctly. And does it suck? Yeah. Do I care, though, ultimately? Not really. Not being able to charge my phone enough so I couldn't log in. Yeah, that sucks. You ended up despising Dioscuri, for example. That's true. Sometimes you end up not liking the character due to the story, so... Granted, I do feel like most of those characters, they give a redemption arc to. And again, I'm not trying to say that, like, every character has been bad. Like, I pulled up that Liz outfit for you guys on stream there, and you guys were like, oh man, that's so good, and you agreed with me on that. There's definitely characters that are nice. I just don't actually require them. And I feel like, at least for me, the more I've gone through the game and the more I've played the game, the more veteran I've become and the more robust my account has become. So I need things less and less. So as a result of that, I then go, how much do I want this? And my wanting is also taking a hit currently right now due to like financial situation and things like that. It's like, I truly do not want to spend money on the game. So as a result, that just is the way it is. I'm sure there are other people like me. I'm sure there are other people that are not like me. And I think that's FGOs being kept afloat both by like new people and, you know, like just veteran whales alike. So it is the way it is. For Lottie's Arts, yes. Missing a login just messes your weekly rewards, the order. Yeah. Redeeming Doman will be hard? What do you mean? Have you noticed their last 3 catches have all been AoE quick servants? It's a weird choice. It is a weird choice. I suspect that it's done on purpose, though, because they know that they, for years, didn't do quick as a caster. Like, caster is predominantly arts. And then, like, I'd say it's probably, like, if I had to guess, ooh, gold orbs, finally. At least it's something. Saber. Ah, Lan Ling. Do I have him on JP? I guess I do. Finally. They do exist. What was I saying? I don't remember. Anyways. I'd love to be able to buy more quartz for some of the units I never got due to lack of pity, like Kets. Yeah. And I'm gonna say this, don't just spend, like, if you guys get, like, more money, don't just spend it on the game. Take it from me, as somebody that has spent a lot of money on the game. Like, never, never, ever, like, roll beyond your means or anything like that. And truly, you guys need to always pace yourselves and consider the cost. Like, FGO is a fun game to play. But ultimately, these are pixels. It's, oh, double-sided. Oh, Pence. Interesting. I feel like I haven't seen a double-sided in a hot second. But, where was I? Yeah, so, like, it's pixels, right? Like, it's something that's temporal. It's not permanent. So it's like, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're taking care of your needs. Make sure you're preparing for your future as a human being, right? Like, don't lose sight of the things that are actually important. Because there are people that have plenty of money to spend on this stuff. But my advice to you guys is always take care of yourselves first. Your delivery has arrived. Yes, my Amazon S CEO. Fade to black. I can only spend if I earned it on overtime. Ooh, nasty. But that's fair. And it's important to find a way to restrict yourself so that you have some patience and some pacing so that you don't just go ham. Budget smartly, exactly. Predominantly paid from singles. It's been crazy, yeah. Still nothing. I mean, technically not nothing, but... Yeah, this is truly a luxury. What section of OC2 are you on in A? I think 13 or 14. Like, I know we're probably about halfway, if I had to guess. Alright, I'll wait for the next roll and then I'll show chat something. Since we know that didn't spark. Sounds about right for halfway. Yeah, I usually assume that story chapters are a little bit more packed and time consuming towards the end. Yeah, we gotta get back to Final Fantasy X when I have the time. Like, truly, I'm just kind of stuck for now because we have to get through OC2. We have to get through OC3. So, basically, until I get, like, story out of the way, we are very much locked in. Doesn't mean I can't do stuff on the side, like play some blitzball, but it is the way it is. Truly a min roll. Hiya. Are you winning, son? I am. Well, I did. I'm not currently. Oh, Lancer. Ah, pizza delivery. Later, Ahado. Okay. I understand some people gotta go because it's getting late. Any guesses for future buffs? I don't know. Let me take a look at the list. So let's see. We're already through day 2, right? I would love a charge buff to Xiangyu. I was talking with Avalon about that. Like, Xiangyu, I know people think that Xiangyu is somehow, like, still, like, really good because of his insane crit damage modifiers. But Xiangyu really just struggles in terms of, like, his actual general usability. Other berserkers, it could be. I truly don't know. Like, at this point, I feel like there's several, but like, to me, Nightingale's kind of just dead in a ditch at this point, and they've still already given her a ton of stuff, so it is what it is. 2-star Lancer. Who do we even have that's 2-star Lancer? Probably Leonidas. I think Avalon's right, though. I do believe that they're probably going to be giving a lot of people charge. That already seems to be the theme. So it's not surprising to me. I would love a buff to Gareth. I would love it. I just don't see it. Probably gonna be Kualter. I could see it being Kualter. I truly don't believe that Kualter needs any amount of love whatsoever. Kualter is still a ridiculously good unit. He's not meta, but let's be honest, he's still really good at just being a cockroach, right? So, if it's him, I won't be surprised, but I don't think he necessarily needs it. 3-star Saber. I'll be honest, I'm actually surprised they're buffing a 3-star Saber again. They got themselves in trouble by doing that. So my hope is that it's Fergus. If it's anyone other than Fergus, they picked wrong. That's really all I can say. Um, 3-star Caster again is an interesting one. Let me take a look at who we got. The 2 times Jill's more likely. Actually, you're not wrong. Jill DeRay is probably the exception that I'll give there. It could be Jill DeRay again as caster. I'd be surprised though because they've already buffed him a couple of times. It's not going to be Q-caster. We all know that. Paracelsus, it really shouldn't be. I mean, they could maybe do something with Babbage. He's kind of a little bit left behind at this point, so I wouldn't hate it, but I don't know. It's such a toss-up to me at this point. They already touched Mephisto, which Mephisto definitely needed it, but it was what it was. And we'll probably talk about the buffs tomorrow, chat, because I doubt I'm gonna get the time to actually talk about it. 5-star ruler's an interesting one. I would love it if it were Bunny. I would love it, but I don't see them doing Bunny again. Personally, my next greatest desire from there would be for them to touch and buff John's skills again. She still needs it. Her skills are still atrocious. Otherwise, it could be something like an NP interlude, something like that. Like, there really is a couple of options there. Buff Karen for the lulz. They still really don't need to touch Karen. Five-star Lancer. I do agree with chat. Vritra absolutely needs it the most. This is a, like, no contest. They absolutely whiffed on buffing Vritra earlier. So they need to make up for that. If it's not Vritra, it's not the end of the world. Like, I know some people will really doom and gloom that, but I could see buffs to other 5-star Lancers. There are several that I think need to play a little bit of catch up, but I think it needs to be Vritra. 2-star Berserker's a little bit weirder. I gotta remind myself who our 2-star Berserkers are. What we got? We got Caligula. We got Eric. It needs to be Eric. Holy shit. It needs to be Eric, chat. I still remember the meme of someone putting Eric Bloodaxe's head on Loki from Avengers where he's in the, like, holding cell. And it's like, you must be pretty desperate to need me. And it's true. Like, Eric just needs some love. That has never changed. 5-star Saber's interesting. Like, yeah, I mean, they could buff OG Saber. It's just, that could be the weird, like, Buster buff that we saw for OG Saber a long time ago. That was, like, hinted at, but I'm doubtful. If it is, I'll love it, but I don't know. Let's see, who else we got? I don't think it's going to be Arthur at this point. They've already given him some love. They've helped out Sigurd. Dioscuri could probably use an NP interlude. Sparking Rider. Hi, Marie. You showed up on my other set of roles. Are you here to tell me that I'm getting downgraded? Um... I'm gonna be honest, they can buff Richard again. Pretender? Okay, I'll take that. I don't think I have NP5 for on JP. Yeah, it's kind of crazy of me to say, but they could actually buff Richard again. I wouldn't actually be like broken up about that. Otherwise you're getting really new if that's a buff. Like Arthur's feature complete, they don't need to touch him. Yeah, the 5-star Saber buff is a little bit perplexing if it's not OG Saber. Like, actually. I think it's like Dioscuri's up there. I don't really know who else. I don't, like, it's nobody's in desperate need. The Sabers are actually in a pretty good spot finally now after years. Ibuki never had a buff? Did they not buff Ibuki? I thought they did. Never did. Wow. Okay. Yeah, then Ibuki probably needs an NP interlude at minimum. And then 3-star Lancer, as is tradition, chat, we must guess Ku. Does Ku need a buff? No. But it must be Ku. That is inevitable. Absolutely inevitable. Stuff going on right up makes me think it's M. We often try to predict stuff like that, and it ends up not being the case. We'll see. Chat, how long till pity? When does the pain stop? The Saber buff is days later than your Astolfo banner debut, though, so I don't think so. Yeah, I can see it. It's not like Astolfo Saber's in a good spot, but it, like I said, the Sabers overall are just odd because they're mostly okay. A lot of them have gotten buffs over the years. Yeah, my guess for 3-star Lancer is it's either Ku or they downgrade Fion to 3 stars and buff him again. I'm just kidding. Gold orbs, please, dear God. It's a Saber again. Oh! Snake Princess. Kurohime. Okay, chat. Here's my actual guess. Taiga. For the millionth time. I don't care. I know chat's gonna tell me that she's had a buff. I don't care. We're doing it again. It's either that or Diarmid, who's been left out in the cold. Give Taiga charge. Wait, did she get charged on the last buff? Hold on, let me look. She didn't. Give Taiga charge. Give her 50% charge. So his Lancer form must suffer. True. At least the 4-star rate here started to recover a little bit. We went from truly the doldrums to now we've at least gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, yeah, 5. So we're actually almost on rate for 4 stars. More Taiga faces. I would love to see like a 4-star or a 5-star Taiga. Taiga, like, chat, this is why I call like the summer underwhelming. Why? Why after 11 years do we still not have summer Taiga? Why? Why? Where is my summer Taiga? It prints money. Prints it. Triple SSR is a terrible tax. It is. I told y'all this was gonna happen. I told y'all. I was like, well, we're going to pity now. It's just there's something about the game that when you get a like extreme glut of SSRs in a rapid succession, it starts to fuck you. It tries to like rebalance itself, it feels like. Summer Juice, Summer Medea. I would love Summer Medea, but I doubt we get a Summer Medea. I'm still curious as to whether or not they'll ever recast Medea. I know people have said no, they won't. It's certainly possible that they do, but I'm curious as to whether or not they ever do. Because technically, unless they do something like remake OG Fate, they don't need to. And I guess technically, if you kept her lines the same, you could just honor her by putting her old lines in. Like, Pretender again. What the heck is going on? This is not a rate up. That might be NP5 of her on JP. Yeah, this is actually evil now at this point. It faked, I guess. I think it's a sign, chat. It's telling me to finish Strange Fake. I still haven't. Still need to. Do we really expect them to not release Fate content if one of the key VAs can't work anymore? Yeah, yes, there's a respect thing there, and I do believe that, but they have recast people before in the case of like extreme circumstances like death. I can't think of an example of this in Fate, but it has absolutely been a thing in the greater anime industry. Just like Bulma and Dragon Ball, yeah. Bleach just had to recast a few VAs because it went on for so long. Yep. Hasn't Mash's VA been recast, I think? I think it was like right at the beginning of the game. Do you think shooting is still good? Like OG shooting. Do I think she's still good? Yeah. I do think she probably struggles a little bit in the current era where like I think her closest comparison at this point is probably Tez. And Tez just has so much more of a kit than her, right? MASH VA changed in 2016. Yeah, so 10 years ago. Oh, I didn't realize it was Kyo's VA. That's interesting. But yeah, that's why I say like I know people want them to respect Medea, and they will. And if they recast her, it's not them not respecting her, right? Like I'd like a new MASH summer costume. I'll be honest, I kind of agree. I don't really care much for the existing one. Assassin. He does exist, chat. We didn't get taken to pity. It was 690 quartz, I assume. Ugh. Now in P2? No, I gotta save for summer. At least for, like, the possibility of it. Because, again, I can always come back, and if I really like the way he plays, I can scoop up an NP2 in, like, a GSSR or, like, a later banner, right? It's not a huge deal. Maya Sakamoto's doing an amazing job as the Major in Ghost in the Shell. So, is the new Ghost in the Shell really good? Like, I've heard people say good things about it, but I'm just actually curious if chat really likes it. Especially for people that watched, like, the OGs back in the day. Yes, I'm dating myself right now. Very good, but different tone. Interesting. So, is the tone not as, like, dark or dystopian? Gold orbs again. Planning on getting the Fire Emblem game? I'm thinking about it. Saber again. Hi, Purple Man. It's Camelot all over again, chat. I haven't gotten to see the new trailer for the new Fire Emblem game, but at least from the original, like, trailer that they showed off, I was interested, so we'll see. Wow. 690 quartz. Nice. Very nice, chat. Very nice. Okay. I watched the stream that was today. Yeah, did it look good? Finally I can spend... Oh, it's so evil. Wait, I need not level max. Is that? Oh, hold on. Before I do that, let's go combine. In P4. We can look over the sum total of my gains, chat. Behold my thickness. Is set in the Three Houses universe? Oh, it is. Interesting. So why do you not like the Three Houses universe? I don't understand how another Summer BB showed up here. Actually ridiculous. Surprised we don't seem to have a Takeuchi Summer Servant, unless it's another skin for Paladin Mash. He may just be, like, doing the 4 stars or something, right? Like, it's entirely possible that that's what's going on. Who's tired of Edelgard and anything remotely related to her? Ah, that's fair. Oh, that's so nice for my John on JP. Like, she has needed to become strong for a long time. I'm actually really happy to get NP2 Jalter. That helps her out so much. Oh, I didn't have a maxed Pinth? Weird. Yag you, I figured. Okay, she didn't want to use the same swimsuit for the fourth year in a row. I mean, in all seriousness, he may have taken a break just for that reason. When did I get a Herc chat? Was it a GSSR? God, I got so much in the way of NP level padding here. I do think I've been sitting on the Herc for a while. There you go. Yeah, that finished off Faker. An MP5 Faker's nice. I'm not even sure my NA one is MP5. I still haven't leveled her. I have several units on JP that need to be leveled. I'll probably do it off stream. At least for some of them. Oh man. Even red hair got NP levels up. Okay, there we go. That clears out that. Let's try to get craft essences under control. Actually, kind of is under control. I'm surprised that I have space. So I'll probably hold off because I don't think I got much of any significant CEs from that. Interesting. This is pretty badass. I like this J. What's it from? Like, I see it's Ultraman, but... They're gonna 8 billion QP. I believe it. I have, like, not been trying, and I'm sitting at, like, 5.6. In Ultraman was Anno 1, right? I don't know. I've only ever seen, like, one Ultraman show, and it was interesting. I think it was the animated one that was on, like, Netflix or something. Pick Lancer based. I picked Lancer because the same reason I was like picking Liz earlier. I felt like I needed a single target Lancer more. I felt like the kit was better for single target. My god, I feel like I'm so inundated now. We need Marie and Gensai, both with a set of foes. Marie will actually see use simply because of like what her kit is. No. Jesus, I almost hit receive all. Oh, that would have been bad. That would have been so bad. Let's actually filter this to 3-star specifically. Because I want to get a bunch of these 1 stacks out of here. Like anything that's a small stack needs to come out. Because it's just taking up so much inventory room. How many of these were there? I just let these pile up, I guess. Do you lose items if you exceed the limit? Usually the game won't actually let you. Like, if you start getting close to it, it'll just tell you you need to go remove stuff. If there's like a login where you actually receive more than the limit, it'll just allow you to temporarily go above it. For a long time, the restriction was that, no, you actually would lose stuff. I think the devs realized it was unpopular and they just kind of silently like got rid of it. Because I don't know when it changed. I just know that like that was the way it used to work, but now it seems to not work that way. My god, man. I've gotten so many foes just from, I'm assuming this is from like the logins. Okay. Rather than give myself a shit stack, we're gonna go do this. Just cleared my Valentine's Day with a 4x rate. Feels so light on the gift box. Nice. The pouting face chat. Behold, pouting Gensai. If anybody doesn't get every servant with 1,000 foes, they are new or lazy as hell. Eventually you can. At this point, it used to be that it was actually quite the accomplishment to get everyone foed up. Nowadays, it's... Yeah, I'd say like everybody can reasonably do it. It just takes time more than anything. I was gonna say, I think I needed the HP foes here. What's crazy, like actually crazy, is I had this many foes sitting around. I have this many new units that need to be foed. And it doesn't matter. I still have that many foes left to do. Yeah, do I like Saber Astolfo? No. Am I gonna level Saber Astolfo? Yes. That's just the type of pragmatist that I am. And soon you shall have to do so again. Yep. I mean, just getting those foes out, dear lord, that saved me so much inventory room, it's not even funny. Did I do Gensai? Yes, for both of them. Marie's done for both. Oh, that's 1,000 on the money. I have 23 days left on each of these, so I truly am just gonna pull them out. And then I think I'll pull out that. I have another 5 HP. Boom, there you go. That should give me a dead even amount. Who was it that I was doing? Saber Fran, wasn't it? Yeah. Wajoom. So I still have a shit ton of foes in my inventory, but nobody to actually use them on. Perfectly fine. We have a ton of summer units coming up. So, not saying I'm going to roll every single one of them, but obviously, you're going to at minimum get the welfare, so I should be a-okay. Now, as with regards to this, let's turn level max. I don't know what the left one is. Oh, okay. I don't know what that one is, but that one's worse. Let's get Hassan these. What do you think of the new 3,000 foe limit CAD? I was talking about it earlier. Oh, nice. I got refunded. I'm not the biggest fan of it, mostly because I think it's just a poor reward scheme at the current point in time. And they can't actually balance the game around it. That being said, it doesn't really hurt anyone. It just is a way to make your character stronger again. So I think I'm like in the middle on it. It's a stupid idea of the devs, but I understand why they had to do it, and I don't really care. Like that's really where I'm at on this point. It's a single player game, screw the balance. Which is weird, because then they like have a like kind of stick up their butt about balance in other cases, right? Grandule's really best with the gold foe economy. Yeah, to a degree. Like, I'm sitting on so many gold foes, I don't really know what to do with them. But to be fair, they've also at times, like, come back and just given out so many. So, I don't know what to really tell them in that regard either. But we're almost done with Azrael here. So, let me see. Let me take a look real quick at actual embers. I have 24 days left on my 360 stack. I guess I gotta use that. Damn. Can't believe the game would make me spend embers like that. How dare they? Time to second archive them. Oh, there's no need. I actually have Venus to level. I've actually been sitting on a lot of this stuff for a hot second. And chat, here is his crazy ascension. Why is it saying I have nothing? Because it needs to be that. Yep. Actually, let me switch this. Yeah. If I have an archer that I need to level, I don't believe I do. I'm just going to be a little inefficient here with some of these. Obviously, the Saber Embers and stuff could be used more efficiently, but truly, I don't care to micro that bad. Okay. So if that's the case, we've used up all the 4-star Embers. He's cool regardless, yeah. Did I see your Saber Lily was 106? Yep, at a certain point, because I lacked a clear, coherent goal, I just started, like, grailing across all the Saber faces, because I'm sitting on so many grails right now, it's not even funny. And this would actually be a great time to use some of them, because we do have the 4x suck rate here on JP as well. So that could be something we could do. Got Ember spreading after telling us not to. Yeah, I mean, like I said, when you're at like my level at this point, the 4-star Embers, they're still valuable, they're still useful, but I don't care as much because I'd say like out of all the Embers I use, maybe like 5% are 4-star Embers. The like other glaring like 95% are 5-star Embers. And I just hoard them and I sit on them and I just go ape shit with them. So it's like if I am not perfectly efficient with a handful of the 4-star Embers, it's not a problem. The time spent literally to go do that would be a bigger issue. Also, man, that was a long freaking sequence there. Now, what I will be efficient with is 5-star Embers. And that's going to be our goal right here, is like just leveling people up. Fran Saber's a little bit more on the realm of like, I don't know that I care as much, because while I do like Fran Saber and I've used her profusely on NA, the fact that I just got the first copy of her ever on JP is, I'm not going to use her very much, right? Nice to have her for collection purposes, but I'd rather focus on leveling up a new unit for right now. And to be told, we'll probably get them all leveled up to max at minimum. Because we have to clear room for those 360 Embers to come out. Let's see if we get a lucky proc. Damn. More strengthenings? Exactly. That is the logic there. Okay, we got a lucky proc there at least. I still think she actually, ironically enough, like the characters for that event did have some of the better designs overall. Bichon was the oddity. Everybody else was really good. It'd be the 5-star Zerker getting a buff today. A lot of people in chat think Ku Alter. I was of the opinion of, like, I would just love to see a charge buff for Xiang Yu. Bro needs literally anything. Okay, so this is another one where I can't currently be efficient. And I will choose to instead, quote unquote, waste inefficiently some 4-star embers. Because to me, all experience embers are valuable. They are the most valuable ember that you can have. Why? Because they work on everyone. Class-specific ones, if I'm trying to make room for more all-experience embers, class-specific ones are ones where I don't care as much about being efficient with them. If that makes sense. Like, essentially, would you rather, chat, have an ember that can give you 70,000 experience in your inventory, or an ember that can give you 100,000 experience in your inventory? Obviously, the 70,000 one can give 100,000 if it's used correctly, but the idea there being that, like, yes, you should make room so that you can keep more of the ones, because you don't know what the future brings. Like, for instance, what classes are the upcoming summer units? We don't know. So until we know that, I'm better off just kind of hoarding all class embers as much as I can. Embers should not take space in inventory. Well, the whole reason that that's a thing is because people like me. I'm sorry, chat, that I'm ruining this for you. I have a tendency to be one of the most pack rattiest people in the entire, like, in the entire fandom, so it is what it is. I don't think I'd be crazy to say that I literally achieved some of my popularity in teaching everybody how to be some of the most efficient pack rats they possibly can. Is Gensai not good, or do you just not like her? Why do you ask that? Just because I leveled up the newer unit first? Saw her at level 3. I literally just rolled her. Literally just rolled her. Like, she was part of my GSSR, which, for anyone that's just coming in, I had a triple GSSR, which is rather insane. I've never had a triple at all before. Like, even outside of GSSRs, I've never even seen someone else roll a triple. I have seen the results of someone else's triple. I've never seen it live. So, just rather actually insane. It is, and the reason why I say this is not to gloat, but it's like, just to let you guys know how rare that is. I truly don't understand how it happened. And the only thing I can say is because it was on Destiny order. Like, I need to get out of that screen. That screen is going to make me grail her, and I'm half distracted by talking to people. So literally, I'm just in process, like, leveling all of these units up because I haven't leveled them yet. Actually, though, hold that thought. Do I have any Lancer embers? I do not. Actually, let me see. What do I have? Yeah, nothing I have actually works for me right now. So, go back here. That doesn't work. Turn that on so that it gives me any of the normal embers. What is the purple thing I'm talking about on GSSR? Purple? No, triple. As in 3. You almost said a triple with the old Moriarty rules? Yes. Yeah, I was very close. I had back in the day I was rolling for a single copy of Shinjuku Avenger on his debut banner. And that was also Moriarty's debut banner. I didn't even want Moriarty at the time, and I proceeded to get back-to-back Moriartys to end a roll, and then another Moriarty to start the next roll. So I was basically like if somehow the multi had been shifted like one over, I would have gotten a triple. And the hilarious part, it was for a unit I didn't even at the time want. My hearing is terrible by that. No, it's all good. I realized that like that was probably what you meant. Because me saying triple, if I'm like mumbling or it's not coming out clear, probably sounds like I'm saying purple. Damn old man's been dodging me since Shinjuku. Yeah. Congrats, thank you. Yeah, I truly I don't understand how that happened. It's insane that after 10 years of playing this game, it can still teach me new things. It can still show me things that I've never seen before. I remember seeing someone getting a quad. Like I saw the results of it. I'm not gonna say it's impossible. It's certainly not. It's just that is also like if you think a triple is rare, imagine how astronomically rare a quad is, right? So there's some points where you're just like, what the heck, man? Oh, I got refunded. What always happens when you get when you target a 4-star? Yeah, it does feel like desire sensor is such a thing, and it basically just pushes you after like the thing that you didn't want. Like for instance, getting BB. I remember a streamer had a quad of melt. That's just friggin' insane. $10 to 5-star mellow first 10 roll, by the way. I'm gonna be honest. I just doubt it. Like, I just assume that that's somebody that, like, actually photoshopped it. Unless you have video proof of a quint, I don't believe it. that's why I say it. Like, for me at this point, like triple and above, you pretty much need video evidence for me to believe it happened. I think a triple I can actually believe happened without video evidence. A quad or higher, I don't think I can. That's just insane to me. Okay, let's do Marie. So there's nothing that's not an all ember now in my inventory. How did the double X roll? Sounds like you got multiple BBs chasing double X. Yeah. They went okay actually in the end. It's just, man, they made me think it wasn't gonna go that way for a while. We were rolling with 2-2 the other day. We still got to get the video about that out. I always forget about this middle ascension. I'm so used to seeing people use either the first or the third. Like, Marie Alter just has one of the best designs, I feel like, in the game. What, the Little Red Riding Hood costume? The only quint I've seen was absolutely fake. Yeah. I've seen people try to claim it over the years, and I'm like, no. I got a triple once. Nice. Like I said, I know it's a thing. I've heard people talk about it. I have seen video evidence of a quad. That's how I know it was like actually true. I've never seen it rolled live. I've never even seen a triple rolled live prior to this. And usually the only way you get something like a triple or a quad is from a GSSR. Look at those Maries. Yes. I have her on random. Interesting. Marie's Antoinettes, yes. I still really like that Final Ascension art for her. So many of the Final Ascension arts look either like goated and they look like the best thing of the character, or to me they're like the worst thing. I unfortunately I feel like there's a couple of units where I go like into the unit and then I'm like, no, we're changing them back. Obviously I'm not going to do that here, but like there's plenty of units where I just don't care for the Final Ascension, unfortunately. My Erish was a triple. Annoyingly, it was 5, 6, and 7. No! Oh, that sucks. That actually sucks. Like, yeah, that's 2 USOs, but man, you're sitting there and you're like, why could this not have happened earlier? I've had several like doubles that ended up in an NP6, and it always sucks whenever it happens. I want the school outfit for Marie and Jalter from OC2. That'd be amazing. They should just do like an event that's like somehow a return to like school or something, and then just throw that like throw them in, give multiple other units the same treatment. They changed so that random ascension doesn't include the 4th ascension to be the 3rd model? No. Why? The final ascension artwork is not its own ascension. Like in terms of actual physical appearance. You have never lived until you triple Angry Mango in the FP pool? I've rolled 6 of Salieri in one pull, but that was also a GSSR. But yeah, Mango is a little bit different. I don't think I've ever doubled Mango. I think I've had back-to-back rolls, which is still pretty, like, insane, but I've never doubled him. That went overkill. JP is school theme. Yeah, it'd be nice if they would actually, like, do something for it, but we all know they won't. They could do, like, a summer school thing, though. I know that's a thing in Japan. Hey, Jonah. How do I top up? Like, on JP, I use the website that they have for like linking your account and buying quartz, because you get like a 5% discount, which already with like the rates for Japanese yen, it's so much like cheaper anyways. So getting even a 5% discount on that's just even better. See, this is another good Final Ascension artwork. Pick up for a sale here in the extra class banner. I'm pretty sure I still have the video of it. I think I pulled Jalter on that banner. And it was so funny that it was like Salieri was the only 3-star that could show up on it. So anytime you rolled a servant that was not like
like gold orbs or something, you ended up with Salieri. And I just happened to get a roll where I got like 6 of him. Triple Clay and Derek and Triple Da Vinci? Wow. It's interesting to see that there's so many of you guys that have actually gotten a triple. Grail Live and Arjuna Altar's White Day event that give out tons of free costumes again. That'd be great. I doubt they'll do it just because, again, I think people always underestimate just how much effort goes into creating a costume for a character. It's not the same as like creating 2 characters, but it's also not as easy as people think. So I'd wager it's probably like 30% of the work of creating the character. Chat, it is 11 o'clock. I spent all of that time just leveling units, and we still have those 2 to level. So it is what it is. Let me park things here. I was hoping to get to OC2 tonight, but we didn't even manage that. The rolls just kept on keeping on. Let me send you guys over to... Let me send you guys over to Mr. Gotcha Gurus tonight. He's on. He's doing some FGO. And again, I will be back tomorrow, chat. We'll still be doing, we'll go over some of the buffs. We'll probably get to actually doing story content. So again, look forward to it. And if you guys haven't already, check me out on, obviously, Twitch if you guys are on the YouTube side, or YouTube if you guys are on the Twitch side. Again, I have 2 YouTube channels. We are currently live on the second one. And check me out on Twitter as well, where I have a handle. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you join the Discord. It's the easiest way to keep in touch and know when I go live for the next time and get the latest and greatest content that I have to offer you guys. So I'll see you guys for the next one. Give Gotcha Gurus my love. Later.